I don't think I've had such mixed feelings about an ending to a series since the ending of Dragon Ball Z, and that was like a decade ago. You know, it's just those last few seconds that can kind of bother you.
DDG, 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 the man.
Hey guys, what is up? DDG the Man here, back for another video, and today's video is going to be my review of the final episode of Korra, or the series finale, if you will. And two things before we get started. One, this thing is going to be totally spoiler-filled, so if you don't want to hear it, leave. And secondly, the main reason why I wanted to make this video is to talk about the ending, you know, the last few minutes. So you just want to hear me focus on the ending, I'll put up an adaptation somewhere here on the screen to show you where you can skip just to hear my thoughts on the ending. And without further ado, let's go and get started. So without wasting anyone's time, how did I feel about this series finale? Well, it was thoroughly enjoyable. Was it better than the original series finale with Aang versus Ozai? In my opinion, not really, but it doesn't take away how amazing this series finale is. So let's move on to the good. Well, like I just said, I thoroughly enjoyed around 99% of this finale, and I'll get to that 1% later, but for now, we're just going to go ahead and go down the list of everything I just thought was freaking awesome about this finale. The thing that really made this finale really enjoyable was that everybody pretty much had their moments. First, we have the airbenders, you know, trying to blind the Colossus by throwing paint in its face, and then also them using their wind to try to push it over. We got Bolin, lava bending, we got some of the earthbenders trying to bring down buildings on top of this mech. We have Varrick taking down some of the smaller mechs by using his EMP waves, and we also have him proposing to Julie before they go into the final battle, you know, doing the thing. We got Prince Ru trying to take command and trying to help get some civilians out of the city. We kind of get some closure with Asami's father, with him sacrificing himself so they can open a giant hole within the mech. We got Team Avatar going inside the Colossus and wreaking havoc. We got Sue and Lin taking down the arm cannon, while we got Bolin and Mako taking out the spirit vines that's powering the giant Colossus. We got Mako using his lightning bending. We got Korra going up to the Colossus head, taking down, you know, Kavir. She just busts in, takes down two dudes, and starts fighting Kavir without skipping a beat. We get Korra doing some type of grappling move on Kavir, which was freaking awesome. Then we see them do like this slow motion shot where Korra's about to use her air bending and Kavir's about to use her metal bending, and you know, they end up hitting each other and pushing each other back. That was freaking awesome. We got the Colossus just exploding because, you know, they couldn't find a way to shut it down, so they decide, like I said earlier, Mako's using his lightning bending, which causes, you know, the spirit bonds to just explode. After the explosion of the Colossus, you know, we got Korra going after Kavira, and then we see that she has the giant spirit cannon locked right onto Korra. We got Kavira firing the cannon, and it starts, you know, and she just loses control, and it starts spinning all around, and she falls off it and everything. Then we have Korra jumping in front of Kavira to protect her from the spirit beam, and she's freaking spirit bends the beam, and, you know, creates a giant explosion, which ends up creating a new spirit portal. We then find out that Korra and Kavira have been teleported into the spirit world. And it's there that we kind of find out why Kavira was doing what she was doing and everything along those lines. You know, Korra and Kavira kind of have a little heart-to-heart, like, we're not too different from each other or something along those lines. And now, of course, Kavira is captured and sent off to jail. And I'm thinking that it's, you know, just a few days later where we get to see, you know, Varrick's and Julie's wedding, and that's just a freaking awesome scene. And it's just perfect. And then we get a small moment between Korra and Mako. We got Prince Wu saying that he's going to be stepping down as the king and trying to change the Earth Kingdom so they can have like elective officials. Then we have a nice little heart-to-heart between Korra and Tenzin. You know, Tenzin telling her how proud he is of her, how she's accomplished so much as the Avatar, and how Korra feels like she's just getting started. You know, it's a sweet moment. And then we get a nice little heart-to-heart between, you know, Korra and Asami. You know, with Asami just losing her father and all this craziness that is just going on. They both feel like they just need a break, so they both, you know, kind of come up with the idea of going on vacation with each other, you know, to the spirit world, just as friends, right? Which brings us to the last minute to 30 seconds of the episode, and which also brings us to the bad. Two nitpicks before I get into my main problem. The first nitpick being that I wish the guys that Sue and Lin were fighting and Bolin and Mako were fighting while they were inside the mech had a little bit more of some type of substance to them. Like we got to see that Kavira saw them as some of her top men at the elite or something along those lines, because they were very skilled fighters. So I'd like to see her point out her importance to them. That way we have a little bit more substance to the fight. But we kind of don't get that, and that's just fine. You know, just having them be, you know, a couple of random goons that they're fighting doesn't really hit me as hard as it would if they were actually very very important to Vera, you know, their top men, like I just said. My second nitpick, which can also be considered a major problem, is that we don't really get a conclusion between Korra and Baatar Jr. You know, the man loves her, and she just tried to blow him up, and we don't get any type of conclusion there at all whatsoever, and that's just very disappointing. You know, I would have liked to see them have a little face-to-face, like, you know, as she's being taken away to jail, we have Baatar Jr. say, "I love you," and she just starts breaking down, crying or something along those lines, or, you know, have Baatar Jr. again say, "I love you," and she just turns around and say, "I know." How that would have been so stupid, but whatever. But something is better than nothing. You know, they could have took maybe like 30 seconds from out of the wedding scene and dedicated to, you know, having that conclusion, but we don't get it. Now we get to talk about my main problem with the finale, which is also the main reason why I want to do this video, which is the last minute to 30 seconds of the finale. Now don't worry, I'm not going to sit here and say that the ending completely ruined the finale for me or something stupid along those lines, or say that, you know, I 110% don't agree with this whatsoever or anything like that. I'm a little more sensible than that. Well, my main problem is that I just do not see this Korra thing that they are heavily implying. Yes, you can say there were hints of them having a strong relationship, like the fact that, you know, Asami's the only one that Korra really writ to, the only one that she sincerely apologized to for being gone for so long at the very end, you know, those last few minutes of the season finale. I think I remember a moment where I think Asami, you know, complimented Korra in some way or another, and she started blushing a little bit. You know, the fact that Korra just suggested just be the two of them that goes on vacation, even though everybody could probably need it. The fact that Asami, you know, suggested the spirit world. Will they be alone with each other? Oh gosh. But I saw all of that as just a good friendship type of thing, not them wanting to hook up type of thing. But it's just those last 30 seconds or so that really pushed the envelope. I mean, my heart was bumping the fastest during those last 30 seconds than at any other point during this series finale. You know, starting with, you know, holding hands and walking up towards the portal with each other, I was like, okay, this is just a really good close friend thing. But then they turn towards each other and they're just like a few inches away from each other. It's like, oh, are they gonna kiss? Oh, okay. Then, you know, the camera pans up and it's like, oh, you know, okay. Maybe if they would have had them, you know, put each other's arms around each other's shoulders, or maybe lock, you know, elbows or something, or at the very least not have them, you know, turn towards each other when they go into the portal. If they would have done any one of those things that I just said, which they could have easily done, then I would be completely and utterly fine with the ending. Because the ending is supposed to be open-ended, you know, ambiguous, up to the imagination of what you really think is between Korra and Asami. But they heavily imply that, you know, this Korra-Asami thing so much that it just hurts. It bothers me and just doesn't sit right, in my opinion. Look, if they didn't just heavily imply it, but instead went all for it, I probably wouldn't have as big as a problem as I do now. If they would have just went in for the kiss and kiss each other, then freaking, you know, bravo, I would have been not as upset as with the ending as I am now. But I know Nickelodeon was probably like, you can't be showing that stuff, so what they could have at least got away with is them turning towards each other and saying, I love you. And again, that would have been a perfect solution to kind of my problem. Even if one of those two things did happen, I would still have my main problem, which is that I just do not see this Korra-Asami thing. It just comes out of nowhere, it's out of place, and just seems just a little bit too forced. Like, hey, let's go ahead and throw that ending in there and cause some controversy or something. You don't understand how much I don't see this Korra-Asami thing, you know, not just show-wise, but not even in my own imagination or fantasy-wise, that I ever stop and think to myself, man, it'd be hot to see these two characters, you know, hook up with each other. Even though they are two fairly attractive animated women, and Korra is my waifu. I mean, did you not see how good Korra was looking at that wedding? I mean, But in all seriousness, this just seems like just a random fan service thing. Again, you guys, it's not that this completely and utterly ruins the finale for me or anything along those lines, and it's not the fact that I don't see it. No, wait a second, that's exactly it. I don't see it. Again, my main problem is that I just don't see this Korra-Asami thing, and I hate the fact that they heavily imply it like that. But, you know, that's enough of me rambling. Again, I thoroughly enjoyed this finale, had a smile on my face throughout. It's just those last few seconds that really irked me a little bit, but, you know, it's whatever. It can be forgiven, and, you know, again, I thoroughly enjoyed this finale. So what do you guys think of this series finale? Did you enjoy it? Did you feel the same way I do? You have a completely and utterly different opinion? Go ahead and leave that down in the comments below. And if you like the video, like the video. And if you like me, subscribe to me. And as always, it is DJ Man, and I'll catch y'all next time.